Listen, Jesus. Good night.
No.
Okay, so I hope you would watch that critically and with that question in mind. So, who was the significant person in rescuing? What's the question? Who was significant to the rescue of the girl and why? So who was significant to the rescue of the girl and why?
The dog.
Okay, so somebody said dog.
The familiar voices he was hearing.
The father. So we had the dog, the father. Wait, who was that dog? Ada.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So why you say the dog? Why?
Sure, said it first.
Who?
The dog was the first entity that really knew where the child was.
Okay.
And by his sense and incense, he ran. That's why he ran under the bed. He knew something wasn't right. He knew where she was.
Okay, so you say the dog was most significant because the dog was able to sense that she was in another place.
Right.
Okay. When you said the father, why you say the father?
I said the father because she really didn't listen to any other voice. And what I got from it is that my sheep know my voice.
Okay.
And that she listened to her father.
So the father was significant because the father's voice was able to get her attention. Okay. Any other things? So we have the dog, the father, who else?
The physicist.
Okay, why you say the physicist?
Well, because he recognized that he needed to hold on to him when he went through the hole and that it was closing. So
Okay.
he recognized that something was going to happen, and had he not done that and held on, they would have all been lost.
Okay, so he understood. He has some understanding of the principles of this other dimension and this dimension. So that's what he said. Physical. Okay. Any other person? Okay.
You
Peggy?
could conceivably argue that the girl was significant in her own rescue.
The mother?
The
The
girl.
No, the girl.
Oh, the girl. Okay.
Because if she hadn't followed the instructions of holding on to the dog and things
Okay,
like
okay.
that, she would have never got out.
Okay. So the girl. Okay.
I think the dog was most significant because, again, he wasn't cluttered with human thinking. He sensed that there was an opening, he went to it. And then when he was called to come back, he didn't clutter himself with where am I now? Just go to the
Just go to
voice.
the voice, okay.
Just keep going to the voice. So he didn't have the human clock.
Clutter. Right. Okay.
Plus, the girl wasn't holding on to the dog. The
dog
dog
was
was pulling her down.
Right.
So he was significant. And also that the physicist was a voice of reason because the parents, they got all hysterical. They weren't even looking for her. They waited until he got there. So, I mean, so to me, when that dog was barking, that should have been their cue right there that something was up. So.
Like you would have known. Like you would have known that Amos was in another dimension.
But I'm just saying, a lot of times dogs have another sense.
Right. Okay.
So I would have paid attention to his barking.
Right.
And plus, if Avis was missing, I would have been in the closet and everything. It was taking everything in me the whole time.
Did Avis have a job? People there.
Okay. So raise your hand. You think the dog was most significant? Raise your hand. Dog. Okay. Physicist. Okay. Father. Okay. Good. No one thinks the mother. No one thinks the mother. No one gets the mother in the dog. All right. Okay. So let's this is a I lost my clicker. This is a excellent transition into really one thing that's actually I'm going to spend at least 3 weeks on this. Was absolutely crucial to understand the religion of Jesus, and that is levels of awareness. Understanding that there are different levels of awareness, there are different levels of reality, and if you don't have a clear, not a vague, a clear understanding that there's no way to understand the religion of Jesus. Because when we look at the New Testament, we're going to be looking at Jesus literally pulling people or trying to pull people into different states of consciousness. And we look at the whole scriptures are a struggle between God trying to raise humans up to a higher level of consciousness, and humans getting frustrated and trying to bring God down to their level of consciousness. And that is the eternal struggle between the God trying to raise us up, and we're being insistent on bringing God down to our level of thinking, to our level of consciousness. There were two lines that really stuck with me. He said, the physicist said, you have to understand that the principles of this world, of the other world, is not the same as this. So that was very significant. So as far as understanding that when you're talking about spiritual things, it's a whole different way of processing. That if you bring the terrestrial, we're talking about, that our earthly thinking into it, you're never going to get it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that if he would have stayed in that in-between state too long, that who knows what would have happened. But that also made me think about this whole thing of you can't be a lukewarm Christian. Either you're in or you're out. Because to be in both worlds is very dangerous. So there's a lot of things. We're going one day we're gonna do a whole series on Twilight Zone. There's another great one on what hell is. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so let's talk about this levels of consciousness. Very, very important. And we talked about this a little bit in the meditation group for those who were there. So, to appreciate the religion of Jesus, one must have a sensitivity to the various levels of awareness and the role different levels of awareness play in the scriptures. The whole scriptures can be looked at. This is how we saw the Genesis model, the void, the creative activity, the Sabbath. We also see this constant struggle between different levels of awareness, and because people are at different levels of awareness, that directly correlates to where they are in reference to the relationship with other people and in relationship to the Creator. So we have the terrestrial level of awareness, terrestrial level of consciousness, which is terrestrial means just what? Earthly. Okay, so we say extraterrestrial means other than Earth. So you have a terrestrial level of consciousness. That is the level of consciousness that impacts our physical matter, what our senses, our five senses can discern. So empirical world. So this is the terrestrial level of awareness of consciousness. Above that, we have the intermediate level of consciousness, and this is kind of the transition point between the terrestrial and the celestial. So the best example of this is really the dream state. When we're dreaming, many of those dreams are an example of an intermediate level of consciousness, and particularly when we get skilled in being able to, we did a whole year on dreams, in order to be able to discern our dreams and be able to look at our dreams from in a spiritual perspective, and knowing how to weed out what's just biofeedback, and knowing how to hone in on patterns. We see that it's an intermediate level of consciousness. Above that, we have the celestial level of consciousness, and that's basically the heavenly realm. This is the place where God is always trying to bring us to a celestial insight, celestial understanding, celestial perspective. Now, interesting enough, and you don't have to think too hard, you notice that God uses dreams in order to get us to the celestial place. And that's why you look at so many instances in dreams where prophecies or words or insights come in the form of dreams. Why? Because dreams are a gateway to the celestial level of consciousness. You still with me? Mm-hmm. Okay, so beyond that, we have infinite. We have the mystery of God. We have the fact that God is. We have what the mystics say, there's nothing but God, there's only God. So this is the level of unknowability beyond us all, but just being one with our Creator. So this is really can't be categorized. This is when everything is reconciled. Everything is connected, if you will. Okay. So this should be pretty clear. We're clear about this? Okay. Right, so we're going to be using this immediately. Okay. So so the constant struggle in the scriptures is a struggle between God and man. There's a constant struggle between God and man, and God struggles to bring man up to a higher level of consciousness. and man struggles to bring God down to his level of consciousness, to her level of consciousness, so that God can be tameable, tamed, and relatable to humanity. So that's the constant level. I want to bring God down so that God can fit into my parameters, and God is always trying to bring us up and stretch our boundaries and our categories of thinking. So, we good with that? That struggle? Okay, so now I want us to apply it. Okay? I want you to identify the divine human struggle in each of these passages. And this so Samuel 3, 1 through 10, Exodus 3, 1 through 14, and Genesis 37, 1, 5 through 11. So actually, I don't want you all to do so Samuel, Exodus, Genesis. Okay. So that's what you focus. I just want you to focus on one, and I want you to look for where is the struggle, where is the struggle, that divine human struggle in the passion that you have.
No,
Samuel.
I'm sorry, First Samuel.
oh.
Yes.
But I didn't know we were gonna have a question on it.
I need concise answers tonight. No monologues, please.
So you ready to read it? Oh, I
That.
Doubt, question, purpose.
No.
Yeah. Identify the blind.
This is the first one.
Okay.
You question it, and never about it.
Next speaker.
Go
table number one. Go table number one.
Right. I mean, but it,
That's right.
But he kept going back to the terrestrial. He was refusing to go.
Right, that's exactly.
He went on
the length of its limitation.
So he was going out to that door for 22 hours.
Next speaker.
Yeah, he was like, lessons.
Well, you know, he's going to accept it. Actually, and I think that that's saying that, there were not many patients at all in the world. So, I mean, that's between everybody.
Why have we selected me?
Seven crew and the Lord in 19.
I must be so, you know, that way, it's, why me? You're sending me
Y'all good?
Right, right.
That's the first.
That's the struggle right there.
And all of those.
Don't let him do that. Y'all got your spokesperson? Spokesperson for the group.
Oh, yeah, oh, he's always the newest person.
Y'all good? I'm doing something different today. Instead of a word limit, I'm gonna give you 1 minute to say your answer.
1 minute.
1 minute. I'm gonna time you. And after, when 1 minute's over, you get cut off. Cut off, okay? So you only need 1 minute. All right. Let's start with Exodus. Let's start with Exodus table. So either Brooke, go.
God wants Moses to be a leader. I put him in charge to lead the people out of Egypt, but he doubted himself, thinking he's not worthy enough. And he's trying to identify God. Trying to identify God, and he was asking him, like, who should he say sent him?
Good.
That's it, that's it.
Do you succeed your time as they say in comments? Okay, good, perfect. I said, I give my time back to the chair. 28 seconds, very good. So, okay, second Exodus, go.
So we, basically the same thing. Moses had a lack of confidence, self-doubt, kind of afraid of what will the people, will they listen to me? You know, who am I to go and talk to these people? They don't know me. You got to give me something to tell them so they'll believe me. So you know, God says, tell them I am that I am. So basically just Moses not trusting himself, not trusting that God knows what he's doing and sending him off to do that.
Good, okay, that's good. Excellent, very good. Excellent, very good. I want to highlight two things because actually you all kind of highlighted different things, so that's good. If we look at Exodus, the first thing what Brooks Table talked about was the fact that, so Moses said to God, so God comes to Moses and said, look, Moses, this is what I want you to do, this is what I want you to be, this is the assignment I'm going to give you. And then, like Brooks lifted up, Moses tries to bring God down. Well, what is your name? Because particularly in this talk that we're talking about a name, when you knew someone's name, it means you knew them. You knew them. So basically, what is your name so I can tell other people? So this is trying to bring God down, and then God says, no, you're not going to put me in that I am who I am. So that's but Jim lifted up something else is the fact that when Moses was operating in the realm of fear and worry and doubt, he was bringing God down to that realm of fear and doubt, which is terrestrial. So that's on an emotional level. So that was very good too. But definitely the most clear example is 13. Then Moses said to God, behold, I am going to send you to the sons of Israel, and I will say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me. Now they may say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? And so think about that in reference to when they try to categorize you, when they try to put you in a box, when they try to, what box can I put you in so I can give it to them in a nice, clean cut way? And God says, I refuse to be put in that.
Right.
So it's very important. Excellent, very good. Samuel, 2 Samuel tables. Who's spokesperson? Okay, Ted?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. And the word of the Lord was rare in the days, and there was no widespread revelation. What was happening was that the Lord was speaking to Samuel. Samuel was going to Eli, and he kept going to Eli, and then finally it was revealed to him. It says, now Samuel did not know the Lord, nor was the word of the Lord yet revealed to him. Then Eli perceived that the Lord had called him, and basically at that point,
30 seconds.
told the boy to lay down and actually let the Lord speak to him.
Okay, so
there was a level of trust at that point.
okay, so what was the human part? What was the human part?
Lack of trust.
Lack of trust and the
Just without having that knowledge.
okay, so the struggle between lack of trust and not having knowledge, and then going to understanding more and having trust. Okay, good. We'll take that. Good. Excellent. Next table.
And a second struggle with Samuel was the struggle that Samuel had with going to God because he didn't know God, even though God was calling him. Mm-hmm. And so that we also reverted back to what you had just taught us. So Samuel was going into the immediate as he went to sleep. Mm-hmm. And he was being called to the terrestrial, but he wasn't ready. So he kept celestial. So he kept going back to the terrestrial. You know, because he kept going back to his dad, waking up and going back. And so then they said, no, go ahead and answer it. So that he convinced him to go ahead and go into the next level of awareness and stop his struggle. Once he did that, he then became a person of God.
Okay, excellent. Very good. Now, I want to lift up something else. Both tables, excellent. So you acknowledge that first the way Samuel was operating. Because notice when he heard the voice at the beginning, he was getting up and running somewhere. And then Eli said, listen, next time you hear the voice, just stay there. So that's even a different way, a celestial way versus a terrestrial way. Terrestrial is in the realm of doing, because that's how I measure anything. I always have to do something. In the celestial, it's about being. So the celestial is a completely different. So that's excellent. It's very good. Now, Joseph. This is what we're going to end on. I got a couple more questions for the Joseph group. I mean, Genesis. Genesis passage we just talked about Joseph. So let's hear it. Okay. Y'all go first. You're on. Go.
So pretty much, in this passage, it talked about Joseph, and he revealed his dream that God gave to him, and pretty much the human struggle we discussed was the pretty much doubt that his brothers and father had of his dreams, and also jealousy, and fear.
Okay. So that was terrestrial.
Yes, right.
Okay. And what was the divine?
The divine was the dream itself, and that the terrestrial could not comprehend the celestial. And so they turned against him in envy and jealousy and in doubt.
Good. Very good. Very good. Excellent. Double teamed it. All right. Okay. Go.
That's the terrestrial part. The celestial is where the Father observes the saints, and it's kind of trying to accept this.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Side. Excellent. Good job. So y'all not even getting a minute next time. Y'all getting 45 seconds. That's very good. So okay. So let's end on this, because this is very important. So, why did Joseph's brothers envy him? And you hit it right on the nose. And this is very important. We have to understand this, particularly as we start to mature and go into deeper places spiritually, because Joseph was literally being pushed and prodded into this realm when he was entering into this dream state. Because not only was he dreaming, because everyone dreams, and we all dream, whether you remember it or not, as we talked about for a whole year. I hope you're not even debating on that anymore. Okay? So we all dream, but God was pushing Joseph into this intermediate state. And not only that, but Joseph was discerning enough and intuitive enough to really be able to recall his dreams, number one, because that's a principle of skill in itself, and to have some be able to relay it. So God was pushing him into this place, and his brothers were analyzing him from this perspective. And so there's always going to be natural tension, particularly when you start expressing things in this realm, and people are limited to this realm. And it's very important that you can't take it personal, but we're literally talking about two different things, and they're not parallel. Because we talk about the language of dreams is the language of parables and images. So they're not parallel, so they're not correlations. And then God was trying to get Joseph to the celestial realm. Now, Sister Elder lifted up something that's very important, is that when we encounter something that we don't understand, we can say, well, because it doesn't make sense in this terrestrial realm, I reject it, or we can hold it and suspend it until we get further insight. And that's exactly what Joseph's father did, because it said the brother said it doesn't make sense, because in this realm it doesn't. You're the youngest, you have the least status, you have the least prestige. It doesn't make sense in this realm. Therefore, it's wrong. The father said it doesn't make sense in this realm, but I'm going to hold on to it until I can get greater insight on it. And you see, this is the same pattern with Jesus at the beginning of his life. They were, when Jesus went to the temple and he was preaching and teaching, And, you know, he said, I must be my father's business. And everyone was amazed, and some people thought he was, you know, just shocked, and they didn't know what to do with it. And it says, and it always ends with, and Mary pondered these things in her heart. So even though she didn't have the exact insight in that moment, she had enough discernment to say that because I know there are other realms of awareness, I don't understand it here, but I'm going to hold on to it because when I get the insight, I'm going to match it up. And that's just in that and of itself, you know, not rushing to judgment, not being humble enough to understand that there are other realms of awareness beyond what we're aware of right now. And just having a sense of that humility can get us a long way in our spiritual journey, because a lot of times what I often say is that God will give you a piece of the puzzle, and because you don't have all the pieces in the trust around, you just throw it away. But see, you haven't got to this point yet. You don't understand the significance of that puzzle piece that He gave you. So it's really patience and humility go a long way in the spiritual journey, because a little bit of humility is better than a whole lot of wisdom. A little bit of humility is better than a whole lot of knowledge, because that will allow us to basically be open to things as they come and as they relate to us later on in life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So let's, in summary, that difference between the father's response and the brother's response, and we can say the exact same pattern with Mary and how Mary interacts with her child Jesus, when Jesus was a baby and a child and basically preaching. Okay, so conclusion. Many of us get stuck in terrestrial loops, or we insist on putting celestial truths in terrestrial prisons. So we get stuck in terrestrial loops, and we're going to talk about loops a lot, you know, as we go on. But there's no other way that this could possibly be true or possibly happen, because this is the only state of awareness that I'm recognizing I'm aware. So we get stuck in a loop, or we're insistent on trying to put the mysterious, unknowable God into nice, convenient prisons that make us feel comfortable, which is very important too. Okay, spiritual growth comes when we allow the terrestrial to lead and point us to higher states of consciousness. So the great in the mystical tradition, they talk about, you know, when the teacher points to the moon, you know, don't focus on the teacher's finger. Allow the finger to lead you to look at the moon. He got dirt on his fingernails. Everything in the terrestrial realm, you should allow it to lead you to the celestial realm. So allowing the terrestrial to be like a ladder instead of a prison. The religion of Jesus leads us out of terrestrial loops, but the process is often uncomfortable and sometimes painful when we hold on to the terrestrial realm. I think that's enough for tonight.
Go back about 3 slides like we did last.
Sure.
That, right? Genesis 37.
So, questions or comments on that, particularly for those who were, if this was your first class, are you Janice, Michelle, Gina, Ted? Is this you following? Is this making sense to you?
It's making sense.
Okay.
I mean, we should study it.
Okay, yeah. And I will send you all the backslides. So it will be this slide and all the backslides so you can review them. But we're going to be reviewing them as we go through it, you know, the different diagrams and stuff like that. But you're still good.
Good.
You're good. Okay. All right. Any questions?
I still don't get how the brothers envy him, but I'll see.
How the brothers envy him?
Right, why do they envy him? Because that's not what I got to read in scripture, but I'll read it.
And then email me.
Yeah, because I understand that if you dislike somebody even more, how's that envy?
If you dislike somebody even more?
No, I'm saying this is what my Bible says, so they hated him even more.
Okay.
Because of his deeds and his words. So how's that envy? That's not envy.
What is it then?
Oftentimes,
That's what I
every
said.
you should demonstrate yourself.
Well,
maybe that's why I'm being talked about the word.
Okay.
Right, right.
Yeah. But I mean, but that, don't worry about the word envy. The point for our discussion is, don't forget about that. The point of our discussion, do you understand that Joseph's brothers were just seeing him in a terrestrial realm? You get that? That's all that matters. Everything else is the word. It's the word. All right, we're good? Let's stand. What we're gonna do? Okay, so we're gonna do the body prayer. Let's do the body prayer. So ending with the Lord's prayer with our body.